Hey guys, it's Jordan. I'm here to talk about Jephthah, who was the 9th judge of Israel. What a privilege this is. Weird Bible Wednesdays. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, I want to start off by putting out some context. So, throughout Israel's history, the righteousness of Israel has always been reflected by their leaders. So, if you have good leaders, you have good people. And it's like the state of a leader's heart is reflective of the nation as a whole. And so, if the leader loves God, then the people are gonna love God. So you're gonna see that the same thing happens in this story. So in the story of Jephthah, the centerpiece of this story is what's called Jephthah's tragic vow. What happens in the story is Jephthah is appointed the judge of Israel. As he's leading these military conquests. And as he's going out to war, he made a vow to God. So Jephthah said, God, if I win this war, I will sacrifice whatever the first thing to come out of my front door when I get home from the war. He goes out to war and he ends up winning the war. When he comes back, he's outside his house and he sees his daughter step out of the door. And his daughter was his only child. He is just so sad that he comes to this realization that he made a vow that he was going to sacrifice whatever came out of his front door. And so he does end up sacrificing his daughter. But it was not because God was asking Jephthah to do that. It was not because God wanted a human sacrifice. See that too in the story of Abraham and Isaac. Even though God said, Abraham, go sacrifice your only son, it wasn't because God wanted a human sacrifice. It's because he wanted to demonstrate himself. In this story, God didn't want a human sacrifice. He wanted a pure heart from Jephthah. Jephthah, as the leader of Israel during his reign as judge, he was characterized by brash decision making. So, as I was saying earlier, whenever you had a leader in Israel, they were a reflection of the heart of their people. So, with Jephthah, Jephthah was characterized by brash decision making. And so, therefore, throughout his life, the nation of Israel was making brash decisions. Early in his life, in Judges 11 verse 2, his brothers made a brash decision to kick him out of the land of Gilead and into the land of Tob because his mother was a harlot. And then while in Tob, Jephthah joined a band of raiders, and that was a brash decision that he made himself. And then later, the elders made a brash decision and appointed him as the ruler over the people.
Why are you doing this? This is so silly. But anyway.
So in this same way, Jephthah was very quick to speak, and he made an oath which he later regretted. And if he hadn't made the oath, he would have been fine. If you make a promise, as someone who follows the Lord, it's like you're obliged to act in a way that's faithful to what you've said you will do. So now to conclude, even though Jephthah's action was terrible, even though he sacrificed his daughter, he is still mentioned as a hero of the faith in Hebrews chapter 11. The author of Hebrews is just running through all the heroes of faith who did great things through their faith. And Jephthah's mentioned in there, and it's like, are you kidding me? This guy is in this Hall of Fame, Hall of Faith. This is ridiculous. But if you think about it, the reason why he's included in that list is because he was faithful. And faithfulness is not necessarily, I believe in Jesus, but it's faith is actually following God when it is uncomfortable. It's described as hope against hope. In the Bible, Abraham is the father of our faith. And so his greatest act of faith was just having faith that God would give him a son, even though it was so unlikely. He had hope against hope. And so, in the same way, Jephthah followed God even though it was hard And even though he didn't want to, but he knew the fear of the Lord. He loved God and he feared God. And because of that, he acted in a certain way towards God, despite making a foolish vow. There is a lesson here in that we are called to faithfulness. Even when God calls us to do something hard, we gotta keep our word. Simple as that.
So, that's that. Jephthah, the ninth judge. Signing out. Peace and blessing be on you and your children. See you in the next episode.